right now. Maybe you're holding on so tightly to something in your life that it's exhausting you, a problem you can't solve, a relationship you can't fix, a future you can't predict. And the more you try to control it, the more it feels like it's slipping through your fingers. And maybe you've prayed about it, cried about it, stayed awake at night thinking about it, and yet there's still no answer, no clear way forward, no relief. And deep down, you're starting to feel like you're running out of strength. Friend, I want to tell you something that could completely change the weight you're carrying. It's time to let go and let God. Because the truth is, there are battles in life that were never yours to fight in your own strength. And the peace you've been searching for is not found in fixing everything yourself, but in releasing it fully into the hands of the one who already knows the outcome, the one who sees the end from the beginning. Isaiah 46:10 reminds us, I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. Meaning, God is not surprised by your struggle. He saw it before you did. He knows every twist and turn, and he already has a plan to bring you through it. But you have to make the choice to release your grip, because here's the thing, holding on in fear is different from holding on in faith. Fear says, if I let go, everything will fall apart. But faith says, if I let go, everything will fall into place in God's timing. And I know that's easier said than done, because our human nature wants control. We want to know what's coming next. We want to fix things our way. But over and over in Scripture, God calls us to trust him, even when the path is dark, even when we can't see the outcome, even when the waiting feels endless. And maybe you've heard Proverbs 3:5-6 before, but I want you to hear it again, like it's being spoken directly into your situation. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Notice it doesn't say understand first, then trust. It says trust first, even without understanding, because trust is an act of surrender, and surrender is where peace begins. You might think, but if I stop trying, nothing will change. Yet in reality, letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying the weight that was never meant for your shoulders, and you start letting God carry it for you. And when you do, you'll notice something shift. Maybe the circumstances won't change overnight, but your heart will. Your mind will. Your anxiety will begin to lift, because peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of God in the middle of them. And that presence becomes more real when you release control. So right now, I want you to imagine yourself literally placing that burden in God's hands. Maybe it's your job situation, your health, your finances, a broken relationship, your future, whatever it is. Picture yourself setting it down before him and stepping back saying, Lord, I can't, but you can. And that's when you'll start to see the beauty of surrender. The moment you stop forcing the door open is the moment God can swing it wide in ways you never imagined. The moment you stop trying to write your own ending is the moment God can bring a plot twist that leaves you in awe of his goodness. Because Ephesians 3:20 says, he is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. His power, not ours. His way, not ours. His timing, not ours. So if you feel weary today, take a deep breath and loosen your grip, because letting go is not giving up. It's giving God room to move. And when you do, you'll find that the peace you've been searching for has been waiting for you in his presence all along. Maybe you've heard the phrase, let go and let God, so many times that it sounds like just another Christian cliche, something people say when they don't know what else to tell you. But I want to go deeper today, because this isn't just a nice saying. It's a spiritual principle that can literally transform the way you live, the way you face challenges, and the way you experience God's peace. See, letting go is not about being passive. It's about shifting from self-reliance to God-reliance. And that shift doesn't happen by accident. It's intentional. It's a choice you make every single day, sometimes every single hour, because life will keep throwing situations at you that tempt you to grab the steering wheel again. And every time you feel that urge, you have to decide, will I keep wrestling with this or will I place it back in God's hands? Psalm 55:22 says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. But notice the verse doesn't say, place your cares neatly on the Lord's desk. It says, cast them, meaning throw them onto him, hurl them away from yourself with force, as if saying, this is too heavy for me. I refuse to carry it anymore. And the amazing promise is that he will sustain you, not just fix the problem, but sustain you through it. I remember reading about a man who carried a heavy backpack for miles, sweating and straining, until a friend offered to carry it for him in his truck. The man accepted, but then kept holding onto the backpack while sitting in the truck, still hunched over under the weight. And isn't that what we do with God sometimes? We say we've given him our burdens, but we're still hunched over, still carrying them in our minds and hearts, still worrying, still replaying worst case scenarios. And that's why the peace never comes, because peace is not found in partial surrender. It's found in complete surrender. The truth is, the areas you struggle to let go of are often the areas you trust God with the least. And that's why he sometimes allows situations that are too big for you, not to crush you, but to teach you that you were never meant to handle life alone. And if you're in a season right now where you feel like everything is slipping out of your control, maybe that's God's gentle way of saying, stop trying to be in control. That's my job. And I know the question that comes up in moments like that. But what if God's plan is different from mine? Friend, it probably is. But that's not a bad thing, because his plan is always higher, better, and wiser. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. You may think you're losing something by letting go, but in reality, you're making room for something far better, and the enemy will try to convince you that surrender is weakness, but in God's kingdom, surrender is strength, because it connects you directly to his power. Think about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, facing the cross in his humanity. He prayed, Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. Luke 22:42. And that's the ultimate example of letting go and trusting the outcome completely to the Father, even when it meant walking into pain, because he knew that the Father's plan would bring the greatest good. And that's exactly what happened. So whatever cup you're holding today, whether it's uncertainty, heartbreak, fear of the future, follow his example. Lay it down, not halfway, but completely. And watch how God turns even your deepest struggles into testimonies of his faithfulness, because the peace you're craving is not somewhere out there waiting for life to get easier. It's here, now, available in his presence, the moment you decide to truly let go. There's a reason letting go feels so hard, because it means releasing not only control, but also the illusion that you are the one keeping everything together. And for many of us, that illusion has become part of our identity. We've convinced ourselves that if we stop holding everything, it will all collapse. But the truth is, you were never holding it all together in the first place. God was, and he still is. Colossians 1:17 says, he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Your life is not spinning out of control because you've let go. It's being held securely in the hands of the one who spoke the stars into existence. And yet we still fight it, don't we? We still have those moments where our minds say, what if God doesn't come through? And in those moments, we have to remember the countless ways he already has. Think about the last time you were in a place you thought you'd never get out of, and yet here you are. That wasn't luck. That was God's faithfulness. And if he was faithful then, he will be faithful now. Letting go is not just about releasing the bad. Sometimes it's about releasing the good that's no longer God's best for you. Abraham had to let go of his comfort zone and leave his homeland to follow God into the unknown. And it was only in that place of surrender that God could fulfill his promise to make him a great nation. Peter had to let go of the safety of the boat to walk on water toward Jesus. Matthew 14. And yes, he started to sink when he took his eyes off the Lord. But the moment he cried out, Lord, save me, Jesus reached out his hand. And that's the beauty of surrender. Even when you falter, God's hand is already there to catch you. So what is your boat today? What's the thing you're clinging to for safety that's actually keeping you from experiencing the fullness of God's presence and power? Maybe it's a job that feels secure but is slowly draining your soul. Maybe it's a relationship you know isn't healthy but you're afraid to walk away from. Maybe it's a plan for your life that you're terrified to let God rewrite, whatever it is. I can tell you this, God will never ask you to let go of something without having something better prepared for you. Sometimes the better is immediate, and sometimes it's waiting on the other side of a season of faith, but it's always there because that's who he is. Jeremiah 29:11 isn't just a coffee mug verse, it's a promise straight from the heart of God. For I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And the only way you can fully receive those plans is by loosening your grip on your own. Letting go doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you start dreaming with God, allowing him to shape your desires, your path, and your destiny. And when you do, you'll find that the peace you've been chasing doesn't come from everything working out exactly as you imagine, but from knowing that no matter how it works out, God is with you, God is for you, and God is in control. So if you're tired of the endless mental tug of war, choose today to step out of the boat, release the oars, and let the waves carry you into the arms of the one who calms the sea with a single word. And when you do, you'll discover that the safest place you can ever be is not in control, but in his presence. If there's one truth I want you to carry with you after everything we've talked about, it's this. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's a daily, sometimes moment-by-moment decision to place your trust back into the hands of the one who has never failed you and never will. Because the reality is life will keep giving you new situations that tempt you to pick the weight back up. A sudden crisis, an unexpected disappointment, a fearful thought about tomorrow, and every single time you'll have the choice, will I take this back into my own hands or will I keep it in God's? The enemy knows that if he can keep you worried, anxious, and burdened, he can keep you distracted from God's presence. But the moment you truly release it, you step into a level of freedom and peace that the world can't give and the world can't take away. Jesus said in John 14:27, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. That means his peace is different. It's not dependent on your circumstances. It's not shaken by delays. It's not destroyed by storms because it's anchored in the unchanging nature of God. I want you to picture your life as a house, and in that house, there are rooms filled with things you've tried to control. Some are neat and tidy because you've learned to trust God there, but others are cluttered, chaotic, filled with anxiety because you've been holding on to the keys yourself. Letting go means handing him the master key and saying, Lord, every room is yours. And here's the beautiful thing. When he steps in, he doesn't just take over, He transforms. He brings order to the chaos, beauty to the brokenness, and joy to the places that felt lifeless. I've seen it happen in my own life, and I've heard it in the stories of countless people. The marriage that was healed when both spouses stopped trying to control each other and started praying for each other. The financial breakthrough that came after months of faithful tithing, even when the numbers didn't make sense. The healing that arrived in ways the doctors couldn't explain. These aren't coincidences. They're the fingerprints of a God who moves when we make space for him. And yes, sometimes making space means waiting longer than you wanted, but in that waiting, God is not withholding. He's working, aligning things in ways you can't yet see, protecting you from paths that would have harmed you, and preparing blessings that will be worth the wait. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." So don't give up in the letting go. Don't take the burden back just because you can't see the harvest yet, because the harvest is coming. Maybe today you need to do something practical to symbolize your surrender. Write down the thing you've been holding on to. Pray over it, and then physically throw that paper away or place it in your Bible as a declaration that it now belongs to God. Or maybe you need to speak it out loud. Lord, I release this to you, because there's power in your words. And as you do, remember that letting go doesn't mean you walk away alone. It means you walk forward, hand in hand, with the God who loves you more than you could ever imagine. The God who has never lost a battle, the God who can turn the darkest night into the brightest morning. So breathe deeply, unclench your fists, and rest in this truth. The same hands that stretched out on the cross for you are the hands holding your future. And in those hands, you are safe, you are loved, and you are free. Now go live in that freedom. Let go, let God, and find the peace that has been waiting for you in his presence all along.